everybody. Okay, so the end of week 14 has already passed, but I wasn't able to get in to do the video because, well, we bought Leo a new tricycle, and that means that Mom walks 50,000 miles a day, and so we've been outside. And it's very difficult to find time to do these videos because you know, everything that needs to be done in the house doesn't get done until I have a minute, and I never have a minute. So, you know, these videos are very difficult to find time to do, but I'm doing them. Okay, so update. Leo's peak of the clear didn't happen at between 7 and 10 days. It actually happened yesterday and today. Very obvious peak. As you recall, we're clearing out the vaccines, and what we're seeing is he had a fever. He even had a headache this morning, and he's had runny nose. He's been coughing. He's just been kind of miserable. And this morning, you know, I really thought that he was probably going to be bedbound all day. And by around noon, you know, 12:30, he popped up and shot across the house like Chucky. and next thing I know, we had our shoes on and we're going outside. So, I mean, he's still got a runny nose and he is still coughing, but his fever, you know, didn't control him, obviously, and I guess his headache went away. He's drinking and eating just fine, you know, so, I mean, those are my biggest concerns. So we are seeing the clear. We're seeing the vaccines clear out. So that's good news. That's real good news, because when it didn't happen at 7 days, I thought, well, you know, maybe in the next few days we'll see something. But then it didn't happen, and so I ended up emailing the homeopathic center and asked them, you know, is it common that kids don't have a reaction at all? And she emailed me back and said that, you know, the reactions are as unique as the kid, you know, which this diagnosis is as unique as the kid. So, you know, that made sense. So I wasn't really sweating it. And then, of course, yesterday and today, we're definitely seeing we're seeing it come out. So it's a good thing. I hate that my baby's miserable, and I've been praying that the reaction be mild, you know, and I believe in the power of prayer, and God never fails me, never. And so, I mean, he's had a mild reaction. So I will be talking to his homeopath on Tuesday, and that's just in a few days, and she's going to be clearing out, I think she said the 6-month vaccine. So if you look on his timeline and you see the list of vaccinations that he's had, she's targeting 19 months this time, and then this next week she's going to be sending the clear for 6-month vaccine. So, you know, who knows what we're going to see there. Okay, so a few things to talk about. I just wanted to make sure I updated on Leo's progress. You know, as far as he's not eating anything new, he is eating a lot. The boy like pounded 2 Salisbury steaks the other night and still ate like 5 donuts after, and that's a lot for Leo. That's a lot. I haven't seen him eat that much since he was very, very little, you know, so that was a very good sign. But he's not tried nothing new. And he's drinking his protein shakes, and, you know, I mean, I'm sure you recall how I make those. You know, well, now I'm adding, you know, boiled egg yolks to them for extra calories. So, I mean, the boy gets a meal in a cup. And he drinks like 32 ounces of that stuff every day. So, honestly, I'm not worried anymore. I haven't had the horrible anxiety about his diet like I did before. And it's because I was relying on Pediasure, even though I had full faith in Pediasure. I still, you know, if he went 2 or 3 days without eating, I bawled, you know, and I prayed and cried, and it was such a overwhelming anxiety for me. Well, now, you know, if he doesn't eat real good, you know, and him not eating good is him not eating cookies and donuts, you know, or popcorn, you know, but I mean, if he doesn't eat real good, at least I know that as long as he's drinking these shakes that I'm making, he's fine. I mean, he gets his greens. I'm very particular on the greens that I juice, and I know he's getting vitamin C. I know he's getting calcium because, coconut milk has like 45% more calcium. And the coconut milk that I get is non-GMO, non-soy. It's, very clean. So I'm very confident in what he's getting into his system. He is very reliable with the drops. He's gotten to where now he's, he asks for them. If I don't give them to him, he'll ask because it's a routine. And these kids, they like routine. So, he may not like the taste of them, but he likes the routine, so he reminds me when it's time. And he's doing really good with talking. I'm going to actually, probably next week, I'll put a short video of him doing his ABCs again, because I did a video with him doing his ABCs, and it's titled, Leo's Strengths versus Our Weaknesses. I don't remember what week it was. It was third or fourth week, I think. Anyway, I want you to see the progress he's made with the enunciation of the letters of the alphabet. So he repeats everything. I mean, everything we say he's repeating, which is fantastic. This is something that should have been happening before he was 2 years old. And here he is, almost 4.5, and it's just now starting to happen. But it's great. It's great to hear his little voice. And it's great to know that he's listening when we talk. So, okay, so one thing I want to add this week, I added a new category to the blog, and it's called Products and Services. And the reason I added it is because I realized that I was coming across a lot of individuals who are giving products and services that are autism or even just special needs based. And I was so impressed by them that I wanted to add them to the blog and mention them in the videos. And so I realized maybe I should just create a category on the blog for that. And so that's what I did. And you'll remember that I mentioned wearable therapeutics, which is the deep pressure therapy, the vests and stuff. I went ahead and moved that link to that category because it's a product. It's an ASD product, and other sensory issues. So, and there's more. I came across one called Happy Hands Toys. I put that link on the blog. It's under that category. These toys are so cute. They're sensory toys and fidgets for all special needs, not just ASD, but for ADHD too, and all special needs. And I was really impressed with the fidgets one because we create toys for Leo all the time, and it's just neat, having found someone who's making an effort to reach out to people through these toys, and it's a really nice idea. I really want to endorse that. So it's Happy Hands Toys, and you'll find their link on the blog. You got to check them out. They're great. Another one that I was very impressed with was Neshoba's Learning Series. These are books and workbooks. They're unique games. They help with language expansion and social skills, and they're for children with autism, and they look really, really cute. I think that, I have a lot of books for Leo, and, there are things about these books that kind of go outside of his ability, and so I'm definitely going to be ordering these Neshoba Learning Series because it is a unique idea. It's very nice. So that link is also on the blog. You want to check that out. Another one that I thought was amazing is these Cool Charms, and it's coolcharm.com. And what they are is they're personalized ASD awareness products. Okay, but here's the greatest thing. She and her autistic son make them, okay? And it's something that her autistic son is involved in. And so it's great for him. It's great for him to be, exercising his skills and talents. And so not only are you, purchasing an autism awareness product, but you're also, supporting just one young man, and I was blown away by it. I wish I could order something, hopefully in the future I'll be able to, but at this point, money's tight because insurance doesn't pay for homeopathic remedies. So, but, hey, it is what it is. So, yeah, check out coolcharm.com. They are really cute, really cute. I've seen parents painting their nails with the, little puzzle pieces for Autism Awareness Month, I've seen parents, wearing shirts and stuff. So these are just something else that, you could add to that, they're really cute. I was really impressed with them too. Okay, so a couple of GoFundMes. There's a new one that I'm going to add. I haven't added it yet, but I'm going to add it to the blog, and it is Emily's Medical Fund. And you actually really, once I add the link, go read that, because her her baby at 14 months suffered from vaccination injury. And if you see the list of what happened to this baby, okay, and she's much older now, but all this happened, at 14 months. So many of you can relate to this, right? Because, they don't want to admit that vaccines cause injury, but if you look at the parents, look at how many people are saying, well, my kid was fine, until this vaccine. So, you got to read her story. I read it and I just wanted to cry. I really did, because I feel like, the big pharma, I hate that term, but I don't know what else to call it, because it's an entity all on its own. And they are accountable to nothing, They can cause injury and be held accountable to nothing. They affect and impact people's lives in the worst way possible, which is, by damaging our children, and they're not being held accountable. They got like this blanket coverage of unaccountability, and I'm so vexed at how the government, not just the government, but even how some people are viewing Big Pharma. They have no responsibility whatsoever, and and it's babies like Emily and her family. My heart goes out to her mom, because I know what it feels like, and I know you do too. There's, I know that Leo's not a severe case. I know that. And I also know that there are major severe cases that, far extend what I'm going through. And my heart sinks into my stomach when I think about what the parents have to go through. We do accept our children. It's not like we look at them and think, oh God, I'm so disappointed. Oh, my life sucks. Why did my life end up this way? It's not like that at all. Leo is the light of my life. The sun wouldn't even come up if it wasn't for Leo. Okay? And really the only thing that I would change about him is diet, right? And get him to understand English a little bit better. I would love for him to be able to communicate with me. But as far as personality and his character, he's hilarious. I would never change that. So, I don't, I'm not saying that I feel sorry, because I know that you know what I'm talking about. You can relate to that, we love our babies, but it doesn't make it okay that they're doing what they're doing. And it's not just vaccines. It's, what's in our food, what we're doing when we're pregnant, what we're eating, it's so much more than just vaccines. Vaccines are huge. They're a huge part of it. And the fact that they keep denying it is disgusting. Okay, so check out Emily's GoFundMe. If you could donate, great. If not, pass it on, spread it around. Get it on Twitter, get it on Google+, Facebook, whatever social media that you're comfortable in. So, but yeah, definitely help this girl out. And we also have the GoFundMe for 4 Paws for Malachi. Get Malachi his therapy dog. we've discussed this a few times because, that therapy dog is going to be a world of difference for this one little boy. I'm going to make a difference for one kid, pass it around, donate, do whatever you can, show your support, show your love and support. So, Martha will be joining us in a couple of weeks. I talked to her yesterday. It was hard talking to her too because Leo had us outside, and so it was difficult even trying to carry on a conversation. But she's going to be coming in the next couple of weeks, do another phone interview with us. Martha is our friend and homeopath, and she's actually going to talk a little bit more about water and how important it is in, an all-natural approach to anything, whether it be autism, cancer, diabetes. An all-natural approach to anything is obviously going to include the one source of life that connects the entire globe, and that's water. So I'm anxious to hear what she has to say because she's extremely knowledgeable, very experienced. And so I'm looking forward to having her back. You don't want to miss that one. That's pretty much all I got. I kind of wanted to mention, there's this whole thing in the news right now about the health care bill. Does it cover pre-existing conditions? Does it not cover pre-existing conditions? All I can think is, this is where we've come, right? We have been conditioned to accept that, there's this bubble that they've created, right? You need a doctor to, live up to this standard and, to be living by this standard. And the insurance companies, they own the doctors. If you don't think that's true, look it up. Here's my advice, okay? And this is a realization and a revelation that I've recently have accepted. It's time that we take control and take charge of our own health. Doctors do not hold the baton when it comes to my health or my kid. Okay, I'm his best doctor because I know him. I'm not going to give him, just because a doctor says, oh, well, he has, an ear infection. Well, everybody knows that up until like 20 years ago, they were passing out antibiotics for ear infections like it was candy. Well, then they, came out with the truth about it and said, well, by doing this, we're actually damaging the immune system. Now, the immune system in the human body is the natural fighting defense against all infections, bacteria, pathogens, everything. So if we realize that, and we nurture that, we don't need a doctor. We don't need... Okay, here's a good example. Leo had a little bit of a red eye one day, and through no fault of the school, they had to follow protocol. All right, well, protocol was, well, he looks like he has pink eye. So they called me up. I had to take him home, had to get a doctor's note to take him back. So we take him to a doctor. I'm not going to go into how much of a bitch that doctor was, but I am going to let you know the doctor, first of all, was extremely insensitive to the fact that Leo was autistic. Now, not that he was autistic because of the label. He was autistic because he didn't want her shoving things into his mouth, okay? And she's like, well, I got to see the back of his throat. She had the tongue depressor. I told her, you're not going to get that in his mouth. It's not going to happen. And she's like, well, I have to. And it's such an attitude. Like I said, I'm not going to go into how much of a bitch she was. But I told her, you're not going to get into it. It's not going to happen, okay? Well, then she looked at his eye, and she prescribed pink eye medication, right? Drops or whatever. Well, because we have to go with the flow, because that's what's required in this lovely system that we're living in, I got the drops. We brought him home. The next day, his eye was fine. He did not have pink eye, okay? Like I said, it's not the school's fault, all right? The school's following protocol. The doctor didn't even bother to even look, okay? I mean, if she looked at his eye, she saw that it was relatively pink. There were no other symptoms, right? And it was pink because he rubbed it, You know, had he had pink eye, we would have noticed it the next day and the next day and the next, because I never gave him those drops, okay? All right, so I never put, because, oh my God, you know, the kid, he's not going to put a tongue depressor in his mouth. You think I'm going to be able to put drops in his eyes? Really? Not going to happen. I didn't even try it. All right, so, you know, I know he didn't have pink eye. We never got beat. It's so contagious, they had to send my kid home. We never got it. So that's how I know for a fact we didn't have a pink eye problem. All right, that is my point. Doctors don't give a shit about you. Pardon my language, but they don't. Okay? What they care about is the next medical journal coming out and saying, well, you know, for this we're going to treat it with this, and this is now the new protocol. Okay? Well, that's because this big pharma company says you're going to use this. All right? It's time to take control over our health. Your body is your doctor. If you have diabetes, you have high blood pressure, you have any medical condition, okay, and even cancer, let's be real, okay, let's be real. If you have any medical condition, you have the authority over your own body to take control and do what you feel is necessary. Now, you know, I had somebody say that, well, homeopathy is not covered by insurance. It's very true, very true. And that it doesn't cure things like cancer and diabetes and blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, first of all, my first thought was, okay, well, yeah, chemotherapy kills people. I lost my mother. I lost her mother, 2 of her brothers to cancer. I'm not a stranger. Okay, I know all about cancer. It runs in my family. All right. So I know what chemotherapy does, and I know how doctors handle it. You know, but just because, you know, they tell you that there's no other options, it's like you either take chemo or you're going to die. Well, here's a news flash. Everybody's going to die. Nobody lives forever. And 2, there are other options. Okay, chemotherapy will kill you. It makes you sick and it kills you. There are other options. There are healthier options. All you got to do is research it. You know, trust your instincts. Your body is your doctor. Take control. Take control over your own health and the health of your kids. Just because they tell you, oh, if you don't get them vaccinated, you know, they're going to catch the measles and they're going to die. You know, that's so ridiculous. Okay, that's so ridiculous. There's newer studies all the time. Children who are vaccinated versus children who are unvaccinated. The children who are unvaccinated are almost always healthier. Okay, and the mortality rate is dramatic. Take control over your own health. It's time. It's time. Don't let the government tell you, because if the government controls health care, then they control what your health care is. They control how much you get, where you get it from, and what kinds you get. We're all unique. They can't treat us like cookie cut, right? They can't treat us like, you know, everything is across the board for every person, because that's not how our body works. We have natural defenses, our immune system. Most of what they give us damages our immune system. The antibiotics. I had another parent say, you know, okay, there was a parent that was asking about natural remedies and natural approaches to tooth infection, because her doctor wanted to put her kid on antibiotics, and she didn't want to use antibiotics because she knew the risk. And so I gave her a couple of, you know, I'm not a, I'm no pro, but I mean, I gave her a couple of suggestions that I looked up, and she could probably look them up too. But I looked up some things, and I gave her a couple of suggestions. Well, somebody else chimed in and said, if you go homeopathic, natural, then you're putting your kid at risk. Follow your doctor's orders and give your kid antibiotics. My mouth dropped, right? Let me get this straight. By following the doctor and his antibiotics, which are synthetic created in a petri somewhere in a laboratory by, a high-paid scientist, sold at the lowest cost to the highest bidder. That is less than a risk than all natural with no side effects ever. And that's better. Okay, my mouth dropped. I was like, are you kidding me? Really? Because the overuse of antibiotics has proven that your immune system is damaged, and much more. Look it up. Overuse of antibiotics kills your gut flora. And if you've been reading my blog, or if you know anything about the gut-brain relationship, it always goes back to the probiotics. Probiotics actually feed the gut flora and rebuild it, and it's pretty important. Antibiotics kill it. And I just recently found out they also can teach good bacteria to be bad bacteria. Look it up. Look up the adverse effects of antibiotics. I'm not saying that, if you get in a car accident and you're all screwed up, I'm not saying go home and, take some drops. No, not at all. But let's just keep it real, okay? Keep it real. Take control. Don't let them fool you into thinking they know more than you, because you're smart enough to learn exactly what they know and also what they refuse to know, right? The doctor will prescribe you antibiotics. He's not going to tell you the long-term effects, because then you look at him and be like, why are you giving this to me? Really? This is going to kill all my gut, flora, and it's going to make it impossible for me to digest food later, and and it's going to mutate, bacteria in my stomach. But why are you giving this to me? He's not going to tell you. You know why? Because then he don't get paid. It's all about the dollar. Take charge. Take charge of your own health. It's time. You don't have to go through a homeopathy. You don't have to, follow my footsteps, or anybody's. I'm not following anybody's footsteps. I'm going on my own. I'm learning as I go. And I'm looking up and researching as I go. Nothing is getting by me, believe me. I had somebody try to tell me, that the homeopathic remedies was just water. Well, no, they're not. I looked it up. I don't take anybody's word for it. And you don't have to either. We're smart. Be smarter than what they're giving you credit for. And believe me, all they care about is keeping you as a client. They don't want to heal you. They want to suppress your symptoms and create more symptoms. That's how they work. You go into the doctor because you're depressed. Well, they give you antidepressants. A couple of weeks later, doc, I have restless leg syndrome in the middle of the night. What the hell is that? He gives you medication for that. So now you're taking antidepressants and stuff for restless leg, right? A couple of weeks later, you go in, doc, I'm constipated. What's up with that? So he prescribes Miralax. Do you see a pattern? Okay? Instead of helping you, the depression is chemical. It's biochemical. Instead of telling you, you need more B vitamins, and a lot of them, because if you're depressed, you need a lot of the Bs. Take a lot of Bs, get a lot of sunshine. I know you're depressed, you don't want to go out. It's a cycle. Get a lot of sunshine. You'd be amazed. It's not just because it's bright and makes you feel good. It's because the sun provides vitamin K. And vitamin K and vitamin D go hand in hand when it comes to a process in your body, like photosynthesis. They go hand in hand. So all I'm saying is, it's time. Take charge. Take charge of your own body. Don't be a fool. Quit tripping on the insurance thing that's going on, because insurance is for big problems, not things you can handle yourself. If you're diabetic, change your diet. Get some exercise. I know people who have kicked diabetes butt just by doing those two things. Getting off of the insulin, getting off of metformin. See, I'm ranting. You know why I'm ranting? Because I see a lot of foolishness. I see a lot. It's like, really? Okay, so, you're going to eat a lot of pizza, and you're going to eat a lot of Twinkies, and then you're going to bitch because you got diabetes, and because the doctor is prescribing all this stuff because you got diabetes, and now, you know, oh no, it's a pre-existing condition, and my insurance isn't going to cover it. Thank you for tuning in, guys. I'm glad you were here, and I will be back next week to update you on the new remedies that our homeopath will be sending.